Thank you so much. And this is something I'm very passionate about. We've been on this since 2012 or 2011. And you get to a point where you not only talk about the GMOs, you're also looking at alternatives. And it's because of that that I became a farmer. You know, I grow beans, I grow maize, and other vegetables. Now, what exactly are the problems? Seeds are the foundation of human and animal life on earth. Whoever that controls your seed controls your life, as you heard on that. Now, the second thing I want to establish is that you are what you eat. The third one is let your food be your medicine. That's what the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said to us. Then we need to also look at the food labeling. These are the issues on this GMO debate. We look at the food labeling. We look at another one that nobody seems to talk about, the glyphosate. Now, what are GMOs? We've talked so much about what are GMOs. And you heard the guy talk about transgenic modification. The danger that we have is not, you know, a lot of times when you talk about this, they tell you, oh, you're anti-science, you're not supporting biotechnology. We love biotechnology. We want to grow with technology as technology is growing. But the problem we have is what we're doing in Nigeria and in some other places. But I want to focus on Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. I love my country. And another thing I also want to, correct. When we talk about GMOs, people want to politicize it. This has nothing to do with President Tinubu. This has nothing to do with APC. It's important that we don't lose focus. Food concerns everybody. All of us, we eat food. Now, GMOs in Nigeria, we're talking about transgenic. When you cross organisms that are taxonomically different, you have a problem. What am I saying? When you take, let's keep it at layman's, forget all the scientific stuff. When you take genes from an animal and put inside a plant, you're already breaking the boundaries of nature. Ethically, that is wrong. In a normal situation, a fish cannot mate tomato. But we are breaking these boundaries in the name of science. And what people are not talking about is, okay, what will be the outcome in future? Because when you talk, they tell you, oh, I run a hospital, and I know the kind of diseases we see on a daily basis. Now, you're not going to literally link, oh, this person, like this 18-year-old boy that is hypertensive. You're not going to say, oh, it's because he ate GMO. Nobody's going to buy that. I mean, in terms of research and all that, okay? But we need to look at glyphosate. If I take your blood samples now and to the lab, I can promise you, that I can get the glyphosate residues in your blood samples. And I encourage Nigerians. That's why, when people come to the clinic, okay, hold on. Hold on. I encourage, when people come to the clinic, we do your nutritional profile. These are not conventional questions people ask you when you go to the hospital. I want to know what you have eaten in the past 2 weeks. There's a reason for that. When I know what you have eaten in the past 2 weeks, if you have fed mostly on junk food, what do I mean by junk food? Fast food and all that, made from all this imported corn, soy food and all that, I can assure you 89% that you have glyphosate residue in your system. Now, the question is this: what is glyphosate? Glyphosate is the pesticide, herbicide, whichever one you want to use, that is used for growing GMO crops. Okay? Now,
so is it specifically for GMO? Is it just a broad spectrum
now,
herbicide?
what is going on is that farmers are now using it to kill weeds.
So it's not just farms. For GMO?
You must use it if you're planting GMO crops.
But they also use it for non-GMO crops.
Nigerians, they're using it for their farms now, okay? But the organic farmers, I don't use Roundup.
So it should not be used?
It should not be used. Why? And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, before I get to that, GMOs, I tell people, are pesticides. Why do I say that? There's a definition. What are pesticides? Pesticides are an enormous group of chemicals designed to kill unwanted insects, insecticides, weeds, herbicides, rodents, and fungi. Many pesticides endanger human health or damage ecosystem, creating risk for companies to buy or produce food and other crops. Now, GMOs, for instance, the beans we just released, they are modified to produce their own pesticides, so that the pests that attack plants will not eat that. Now, that might sound good in terms of, growing the beans and all that, because of the implication to human health. Any plant that can produce its own insecticide or pesticide is automatically a pesticide. So, these plants, in a normal situation, cannot pass through NAFDAC regulation definition of food. And that is why it is not NAFDAC that is regulating GMO foods. It's another agency. Because if NAFDAC...
The National Biosafety
Management Agency. Now, the danger in that is this. NAFDAC, they have their clear definition of food. So, you cannot come now and start telling us that the GMO beans is food when there's a clear definition of what a pesticide is.